Andrew Tate is a former British kickboxer and entrepreneur known for his battle against the Matrix. Being raised by an international chess master, Andrew started playing the game at the age of 4, and just a year later would go on to become Indiana chess champion by defeating a 15-year-old. A powerful Twitch streamer and YouTuber, Adin Ross, couldn't wrap his head around this and decided to challenge the man. The game begins with Adin's pawn to e3, a reasonable move for a beginner. Andrew responds with a pawn to d6. Adin then executes the Wandkreuz opening by moving his pawn to g4, to which Andrew responds by playing pawn to g6. Adin momentarily forgets how his knight works before making a horrendous move by playing knight to f3, which allows Andrew to capture his free pawn on g4.
You bet 20 grand you don't know how the pieces move.
I just forgot a little bit, I'm a little rusty.
This Adin guy might be a little too full of himself. He then makes his first decent move by playing bishop to g2, defending his knight against Andrew's bishop. Andrew accelerates his pawn to e5, to which Adin responds by attacking Andrew's bishop with his pawn on h3. The middle G is starting to learn. Andrew retreats his bishop to h5 to avoid losing it. Adin shows us his intelligence by trying to play knight to h5. He moves his pawn to b4, and Andrew counters by moving his pawn to e4, targeting Adin's knight. Adin makes a rookie mistake by moving his pawn to c4, which allows Andrew to capture a free knight. Adin then captures Andrew's pawn. Andrew now has the ability to trade bishops, but decides to move his knight to f6. Adin utilizes his queen for the first by moving it to e2, and Andrew moves his bishop to g7. Adin then moves his pawn to e4, and Andrew castles. Adin, who has now been demoted to bottom G, makes yet another error by playing pawn to e5, allowing Andrew to capture yet another free pawn, a clear sign of being broke! Adin continues giving up pieces by moving his pawn to d4. Andrew responds by advancing his rook to e8, threatening Adin's queen. Adin plays bishop to e3, arguably the best move on the chessboard. Andrew captures his bishop with a pawn. Andrew plays knight to d4, a risky move because Adin can now capture his knight, but only if he sees it.
Thank you.
Adin makes a massive blunder, playing queen to d2, which allows Andrew to capture his bishop and check his king. Savage. Not knowing better, the streamer plays king to f1, but Andrew captures his queen. Adin uses his last brain cell to capture Andrew's knight, but Andrew takes his knight with his queen. Adin, for some reason, moves his rook to h2, which Andrew captures without hesitation. The streamer moves his king to f1, while Andrew moves his queen to e2, thereby checking Adin's king. Adin advances his king to g1, while Andrew seizes an unguarded pawn. Andrew then delivers a check to Adin's king with his bishop on f3, Adin retreats his king to h2, and in response, Andrew shifts his queen to e2, compelling Adin to move his king to g3. Andrew puts Adin in check once more by maneuvering his queen to g2, prompting Adin to shift his king to h4. Andrew moves his rook to e4, securing a checkmate.